Hi guys, welcome to our channel Rayofhope, and this is your host Anu Singh. I'm working as a security consultant at KPMG India. I have a guest William from Hong Kong. He is a OSCE3 and offensive and really good AppSec guy. Hey William, thank you for being with us. Would you can you introduce yourself? Can you take back to your beginning, right? What sparked your interest and how did you started your cybersecurity career?
Sure. Well, thanks for having me here. So a little bit about myself. I'm a cybersecurity professional from Hong Kong. In my last job, I was working as a penetration tester, and currently I'm working on my own startup to focus on application security for my clients. To the other question is that how did I get started in this industry? The answer is pretty simple because I love breaking rules and I love computers. So naturally, I transitioned to cybersecurity, but so the first thing that made me think cybersecurity is for me is my first hack in high school. So in my high school, we always have a lot of rules. We have local administration restriction in the computers. So the student cannot install anything in the computers. And at that time, I Googled how to extract the SAM and system hashes, got the local administrator password, and bypass all the controls, and it sparked my interest into my journey into cybersecurity from that moment.
Cool. I mean, so you are you are going to start your from employee journey to startup journey, right? So what did you motivate that from being a corporate guy to become a founder of your company?
Okay, so my last company was actually a pretty big corporation, and maybe that's why you get the corporate guy term from. That was my first corporate job, and after joining that, I feel like it goes against everything I like as a hacker. So I want freedom, they don't give me freedom. I want to be more creative. It's very hard to be creative in a corporate environment. So after I leave the corporate job, I went into another consulting firm, which is smaller, which is more vibrant. It's built by hackers and run by other hackers. It's basically a perfect place to work in. But the thing that made me jump out of that comfort zone is that I feel like there are some changes that have to be made in the cybersecurity space, mainly for better quality service, more security awareness. And I feel like if I stuck in the company I really like working in, I cannot make those changes in the world. I was told to be focused on my projects and bring company money instead of really making a change in the cybersecurity space. So I decided to jump out of it and try to do my own thing, which is basically doing application security and try to promote to other startups and other small companies that, security shouldn't be an afterthought. It should be integrated to your development process. And that's how we keep you safe from ransomware and other attackers.
William, you are really a good content writer. You just put a lot of humor in it, and the way you like contents is really appreciative, right? So I mean, I wanted to ask you, how do you choose what to research and what to write about based on industry or curiosity or the community based or your up? I mean, think that there's a gap. I mean, how do you come up with that content and what's your approach to help the cybersecurity community?
I think for the past year, I have been really active on LinkedIn. I follow a lot of people. I read a lot of posts to sort of get the general idea on how the industry is going. And once you identify something that you don't like or you do like, you will start to come up with ideas to, I'm I seem to be complaining about the same thing. How can I do something about it? For example, recently people are complaining about vibe coding. They are introducing a lot of vulnerabilities to the real world, such as the T incident, publishing every sensitive information to the internet. And people are complaining about that, but I see the more underlying issue as people not knowing how to and what to secure. And I feel like we should be responsible for letting them know, making that a common knowledge for people who are just starting out to vibe code it.
I can personally say that I have read your blogs, right? And it is really impressive for sure. I mean, there are a lot of, like you talk about a lot of things, including RCA and other commands, which is appreciative. And the methodologies I think I would suggest guys to go and read the blogs. It is really good, right? Moreover, William, I would like to ask, right? I mean, nowadays we are like moving more towards automations and all those things, right? So how do you see the evaluation of cybersecurity tools nowadays? Like you can see the Expo or any other things, right? We are moving towards more automation, or is manual still a king?
So I have been paying close attention to the Expo development and other automation tools, and I see a consensus between the actual cybersecurity leaders is that it shouldn't be replacing pen tester, but instead it should be assisting them to do their jobs better, to be able to turn a 10-day pen test into a 5-day one, and in that way you can serve more clients and you keep your profit and you don't have to fire any people. I feel like this is the way to go because in automation programs, even in Expo, right now still misses some vulnerabilities that human might not miss. So if you fully rely on automation platforms, I think you will miss a lot of findings and ultimately harming the business and the employees.
So we just talk about changes towards manual to automation and how one should keep, right? So I mean, as an individual, as a security professional working in corporate, right? How should we actually keep up with there's a rapid change in security, right? So, I mean, with that, like what source of training and how do you prioritize that, what to learn next, and based on what actually? Based on the industry demand, based on the skill set that you want to build, I mean, what do you prioritize to build that can make you competitive for upcoming few couple of years? That is, I mean, because nowadays there's a fear in every out there, right? That what to learn, what not to learn, what are we missing. So for that reason, how do you think that how one can prioritize what to learn next?
Okay, so it's just my advice, and I'm a childish guy. I'm very selfish. I just do what I like to do. I generally don't think about the market demand, but I really believe in if you really enjoy researching on something, you will outperform everyone. And you just have to pick one niche that there will be a demand in some sort, no matter how big the scale is. Or yeah, just think about what you truly like and think about will that be relevant in a few years, and just go full speed at it. Don't worry about how much you earn, because if people are demanding the skill and you are really great at it, you will get paid either way.
I mean, you have taken like a lot of certification, especially you are OSCE3, means all the expert level of certification from OPSEC, right? I would say how much it is worth taking and how it changes your approach to think and to hunt the vulnerabilities in an application or your red teaming's views. How do you think that is it important? Is it like driving you towards making more changes? I mean, for the next people who want to get OPSEC certified, how they think that how much they should invest it, and is it worth it to become OSC3? And then what are the possibilities, benefits, and outcome that you got out of it?
So first of all, about it being worth it or not, it really depends on if you are just paying it out of your own pocket. I would say it's definitely not worth it. So don't do that. If you can land a job where the employer is open to sponsoring your study, definitely go for it. But I feel like OSCE3 is a little bit outdated at this moment. And even at the point where I passed it, I feel like the knowledge is a little bit outdated already. So I would say if you really want up-to-date knowledge, this is probably not the way to go. But by pursuing the OSCE3, I feel like I have gained two things. In the process, I feel I gained confidence. I got confidence because it's really hard for the OSED especially, but I still went through it, went through the material, went through the labs, and at the end of it, I feel like I can do anything. And the second thing is that I learned about patience, because it sometimes is really slow to get from this chapter to the next chapter, and you have to look through a lot of the materials, which is kind of boring actually, especially regarding to the assembly instructions. There's not many opportunities for you to use it in the future. With that in mind, you still go through it with patience, and then after that, you will think to yourself, okay, so this is boring, this is probably useless, but I still have the capacity to go through it, so I can now be confident about my patience. And this is two most important lessons I learned: confidence and patience.
This is
Yeah, it's not technical, but it really motivated me to try other things in life, maybe learn a new skill or start my own company, because I know even if it's hard, I can push through it because I have done it before. And this is really actually way more powerful than the technical lessons it taught me.
you like talk about OSED was one of the difficult questions, a difficult like exam of OPSEC that you do, right? So there, I would like to ask, what are the prerequisites, like what coding language knowledge that you had, which helps you to clear the OSED, and how much it is important for someone to learn about the coding.
Okay. So I think there are two really important prerequisites for OSED, the Exploit Development Certificate. First of all, you need to know about assembly language. It doesn't matter that much which type you learn. I learned it in university for MIPS. So it really helped a little bit in my journey into OSED, because I will be looking at x86 assembly language and having a little bit confidence in coding something in assembly. And the second thing I think more important than assembly is how comfortable you are with working with a debugger. So in the journey of OSED, you will spend a lot of time in debugger, because you have to understand how applications work without looking at the source code. So you have to attach the debugger to the application and try to set breakpoints at points that they taught you in the course. You have to, basically 90% of the time, you will be stuck in a debugger, try to figure out how the application works. And I think these are the prerequisites if you want to succeed in OSED.
And after all, like, uh, once you did it, right, at this point of time in 2025, right, someone working as an AppSec or someone who are just graduating, right, who are undergraduate or UG guys, okay, for someone starting in red teaming or in cybersecurity, what path would you suggest as of today?
So my previous jobs are not really red team related. So I'm not really comfortable at giving advice to others regarding this topic. But for general advice for anyone who want to start in offensive security, I would really just suggest they have foundation knowledge in networking, infrastructure, and programming. And it doesn't really have to be their first job into red teaming, but I feel like if you have really good foundation knowledge in those areas, it will make your life much easier when you eventually transition to red teaming.
And a lot of beginners and like freshers, right, they are like overwhelmed with a lot of resources, right, a lot of resources, because taking too much is also bad actually, right? So what would you advise for someone, right, who are serious, okay, about security, and then where they should start actually? How would you prioritize their learning path? How they should prioritize through CTA for any other stuff? What are your approach, do you think, as of today competitive era in 2025?
So there's one approach that it's probably oversimplifying and overgeneralizing, but I would suggest people staying away from free resources and try to lean into pay resources, no matter how little it costs. For me, when I was starting out, there are already a lot of free resources, but I still went for Try Hack Me, because I feel like when people can charge for something, it's usually high quality. So I subscribed to TryHackMe for a month, which is like $15 at that time. And using the time during my subscription, I learned a lot of skills that eventually landed me my first job. I feel like if I chose to go with the free resources, I might have spent a little bit more time studying things I might not be able to learn.
William, so there I would ask you, like, if right now you are an expert guy into security, you understand a lot, right? But if you had to start from the very zero again, means you know nothing. Let us consider you know nothing. And if you had to start from the zero, as of now in 2025, no connections, no LinkedIn, no portfolio, nothing. So how would you prepare yourself and how would you make yourself competitive enough, I mean, to be able to survive in the cybersecurity and make your own place?
Okay, this is going to be a little bit difficult for you. And I will ask you a question. Why do I have to work in cybersecurity?
I think for me, for me, if you ask me, I was working in a different field. I was a client relationship manager, and earlier I was working into HR, right? So I wanted to get into like IT. I mean, I would be honest. I was not sure that I want to get into cybersecurity or anything. I was like sometimes learning from YouTube, like sometimes Python, sometimes C, sometimes C++, but I was completing nothing because I was not sure that what I want to become. So after a lot of research, I sit down and I calm myself and I thought, okay, what I have to do. So I came with two solutions. That was either I should learn about AI or I should learn about security. The question was why I should learn AI and why I should learn cybersecurity. After thinking sometimes, I eliminated AI part. That I would include that, but at that point of time when I started, I eliminated that. Now I made up my mind to get into cybersecurity. Why? I thought just one point. No matter how the secure infrastructure are being built by the developer or a company, humans are meant to make a mistake actually. So suppose at that point of time, AI was not that. Even ChatGPT was not there. So there was not revolution in the AI field. So I mean, blockchain was there, right? So blockchain was there. Then there was a Web3 security. There's web, then web security is there. There API security is there. There's infrastructure red teaming is there. There's, I mean, you have contract management. Now the AI came, there's AI security is there. Means you are coming with the evaluation. Then the security will be also getting evaluated by time. All it's need that to make myself capable enough and make myself even more knowledgeable by time that I can be competitive. And after that, I thought, yes, security is not a field that is going to be dead anytime soon because anything will come that will require a secure infrastructure. Even AI itself will require a secure because now you build a AI application, there's a prompt injection, there's a jailbreaking, right? So things are there. All it needs someone to make themselves capable enough to learn and adapt things. And I think I had that. So this is how I started my career in cybersecurity.
You're absolutely right about the long-term relevancy of cybersecurity because it will be always the case. As human, we always find ways to bypass some of the security controls and try to do illegal stuff, and therefore we need people to protect it.
Yes.
And so after my question to you, I'm going to answer how would I do it if I start from zero. As I mentioned a little bit earlier, I would really focus on the foundation, on the things you want to hack, actually. So in the past, it might be networking, it might be system architectures, it might be programming. You are trying to hack into the network, you're trying to hack into the code, find vulnerabilities in the code. So I really think that whatever you try to hack in the future or right now, you really have to be familiar with it. So in the future, it might be AI security, and then you really have to know about how AI works first. before breaking it. Because if you try to skip everything and just jump to a cybersecurity course about how to break AI, of course you can gain some short-term results. They can teach you 10 methods on how to break AI, but you will not be able to figure out the 11th way to break it because you don't know how it works. You can only follow how others do it. So what I'm suggesting is that whatever you are interested in breaking, really be good at it. So in my past, I was working as a system integrator, which means I had to work with a lot of Linux servers, web servers. I knew how to configure them. I knew how to set them up and harden the servers. And after I gained those foundation knowledge, I moved on to cybersecurity, which made my life a ton easier by knowing those fundamental knowledge. Because when others are struggling building their home labs to practice their cybersecurity, it's just 10 minutes for me to set the whole thing up. I don't have to Google anything because I have done this so many times. I knew all the bash shortcuts and I don't have to press the backspace to delete to the first character. I can just press Ctrl U to delete the first line. So whatever you want to hack, learn the foundation knowledge first. I mean, this advice will still stay true after 10 years, I think.
I wanted to ask you one more thing, right? In your career, right? You have like, I mean, earlier when you started your career, probably 3 or 4 years back, right? What do you strongly used to believe that you feel now that wasted a lot of time of yours? And if you would have, if you would knew that, yeah, this is something you are wasting your time, that you should not, and rather than you can prioritize your task, then what it would be?
This is a really good question. And my answer might be, I used to believe in having technical excellence, like really be good at coding, at cybersecurity, all the technical stuff will eventually land me a position that I can get paid a lot or influence many. But it's actually not the case. I feel like as I grow in my career, I feel like the people who know how to build things and sell things are usually the ones who have achieved what I want in life. So that's why I'm really proposing, if you really want to go further than your cybersecurity pen testing career, learn some soft skills about writing, about public speaking and presentation, and try to keep your options open. Don't corner yourself into a technical job so you can have other opportunities in life as well.
And what do you think? Like getting multiple certifications, like it is now like a way that people are getting certified this and getting multiple certifications, right? Is it worth enough to invest the money in getting certified for multiple things, or being skilled is has a still value?
If you think about why certifications exist, it's basically an evaluation of the person. Do this person have the skills? So for OSCP, do they know how to do pen testing? And it basically makes you a replaceable person, a replaceable employee, because my OSCP holder employee is gone. Let's hire another one. It's a really sad truth, but it's true. If you have the certificates, you are by default replaceable. And of course, earning a certificate will get you a job or a raise in your company, but ultimately, you shouldn't be focusing on a skill that makes you replaceable, I think.
I agree. And you participate in a lot of conferences, like you also participate in Black Hat, right? How do you think participated in those conferences like Black Hat, Nullcon, and everything? How it helps and to build your like a brand or like a individual like personality in cybersecurity? Is it good to go and just be just a skilled guy in your room?
I really loved going to Black Hat and DEF CON. I feel like the atmosphere is... there are a lot of like-minded people around you. If there are technical people, there are salespeople, there are presentable people like you, and it just feels like to have to absorb the energy from other creative individuals. And I made a friend there, and what he said to me really motivated me to pursue a career out of cybersecurity and try to learn skills outside of cybersecurity. Because if it wasn't for him, I would probably still stuck in my day job doing pen tests in front of a computer all day. So it's a really good experience, but will I go again? I'm still thinking about it because the ticket and the long flight is really demanding.
At last, I would like to ask that you created your company Securitics, right? So, what are your vision towards building your own brand, and what are you thinking that you're gonna help to the cybersecurity, and what are your approaches to build your own company and make it available globally or just in Hong Kong's? Would you talk about it?
For me to build my own company, my goal is always to push the industry forward. And I see a lot of people not landing jobs because of the market saturation.
Mhm.
And I want to change it by creating demand in the cybersecurity field, especially in offensive security. So, for example, if I just do my pen testing job, I'm part of the competition, I'm part of the saturated market. But if I launch a company that do compliance, and then I can integrate pen tests into part of my offering and bring new job opportunities to the community. The second thing I want to do is to make use of my money, my outreach to teach others so they can learn all the advanced techniques from outside of paying Black Hat or DEFCON, because these are really unaccessible. They are really expensive. Offset cost is also really expensive. I want to make sure the knowledge is available to everyone. And it's really not in my place to do it if I don't own a company, because I need to be publishing content constantly. And if I have a day job, it's really hard. As you might know, you already have a day job. I'm sure you can relate how hard it is to
And this
contribute.
is something I really appreciate the thoughts that you have to give back to the cybersecurity community. And I think that it will definitely help them in long run for sure. Again, now, thank you so much, William, for being on this call, right? It was really nice talking to you. And I think definitely it will help the community folks to learn something out of it. And thank you again.
Thank you, Anu.
So,